Hey guys, my name is Rob, welcome to Kinetic Rugby League. In this video I'll be giving you my Super League Playoff Eliminator predictions. I'll leave a recap of last week up on the screen for you now. As you can see, 5 out of 6. I will take it. That's not a bad finish to the regular season, but that gives me 122 out of 163 for a percentage of 74.85%. We're very close, very close to 75%. Can we get it? During the playoffs, we will see. I need to be pretty much perfect if I want to get to it. So, without further ado, let's crack on with the first game. Kicking things off, we have the Salford Red Devils taking on the Leigh Leopards, starting with league position and points difference. Salford finished the season, or the regular season, in 4th place. Their attack was 6th best, defence was 8th best, and points difference was 8th best on the season overall. For Leigh Leopards, they finished in 5th place. Their attack was 5th best, their defence was 5th best, and their points difference, you guessed it, was 5th best. What a genius. In terms of recent form, Salford have won 3 in their last 5 Super League games. Leigh have won 4 in their last 5 Super League games. I have a power rankings. I have Salford in 5th and Leigh in 4th. So for me, I think for the side of Salford, I think their kick chase is going to be one of the most important things. We can rely on people like Mark Sneed to take control of the kicking game and make sure the ball is placed into key areas. The kick chase needs to be good. You've got to pin this team back. They've got some beast through the middle. They've got some quality on the edges. You've got to pin them back as much as possible and make them really work out from the back. So the kick chase is important. What I'd like to see with the Salford team is taking risks. I understand it's, the playoffs. Sometimes you want to be a bit cautious. You don't want to show your hand too much and blah, blah, blah. Take risks. Salford have looked, I think, at their best this season when they've taken risks. That's spreading the ball deep in their own half early in the tackle count, especially when they go right. I think they look pretty good when they spread the ball early going to the right-hand side. They can do it to the left, but I've seen plenty of times they spread the ball early, they open teams up, catch them off guard, especially if their defensive line speed isn't quick. So I want to see Salford taking risks this week. But of course, it needs to be clean, because if you're making mistakes, then you can be punished, can't you? So the other most important thing for me is speed when it comes to this Salford team. I know it seems like a very easy thing to say, play with speed, but when the defensive line speed is up to it, my God, they shut teams down. They shut teams down extremely well, and speed in attack is key. They've got the players to really give it some oomph, but yeah, for me, it's all about taking risks and playing with speed and making sure the kick chase is good. So yeah, as far as Salford goes, that's what I'd have to say. For Leigh, they can win through the middle. I think they've got the players to do it. You've got Amon, Asiata, O'Donnell. You've got even some of the guys in the backs like Hardacre and Litelli. They can take some carries as well. They can put in some good work. Same with Josh Charlie, for example. So they can put in some good work through the middle, but it can't all be about that. Now, if they can get some quick play of the ball, set a foundation for Moylan, Lamb, O'Brien, etc., Iparpe to work off the back of, then they can really punish Salford through the middle. But don't make it all about just a fight through the middle, because if you're one-dimensional, they'll shut you down. They'll get used to what you're doing, and they'll shut you down. You've got to be creative. You can punch holes through the middle, sure, but eventually you've got to start chucking the ball around. So set the platform through the middle, establish dominance, and then start expanding the play. I think the other most important thing for me when it comes to this Leigh team is just making sure that the spine stay connected, making sure that you constantly work in the same sides of the field together, constantly on the same page with what you want to do, accurate passes. As long as those key spine players are connected well, I think Leigh over the course of 80 minutes will just put up enough points. Defensively, I have some issues with them at times, but they need to be connected in attack, and if they are, I think they'll be strong enough to get those extra points. Salford, of course, the key players will be well rested after being rested from last week. Plenty of time to look at what this Leigh team is capable of and do a lot of studying on them. But I think Leigh overall are just strong enough with their attack and have learnt enough defensively to just hold off Salford. So I'm going to go with Salford Red Devils 20, Leigh Leopards 24. Finally, for this week, we have the Warrington Wolves taking on St Helens, starting with league position and points difference. Warrington finished the regular season in third place, and for rankings on their points for, they were first. For points against, they were first, and therefore points difference on the season was first. For St Helens, their attack was fourth best, defence was fourth best, and the points difference was fourth best, whilst finishing sixth in the regular season. In terms of recent form, Warrington have won 4 in their last 5 Super League games. Saints have only won 2 in their last 5 Super League games. For power rankings, I have Warrington in third and Saints in sixth, same as the league table. Warrington must start fast. There is no other option. They must start fast. They cannot allow Saints to get into a rhythm. Whether it's spreading the ball, beating them through the middle, Warrington have to start fast. The kick game is so important because I don't think Drinkwater's kicks have been that effective. Neither is Williams, especially in general play. Now, short-range kicking game, great, obviously. But you don't want to have to rely on Danny Walker getting you out of trouble with a 40-20. Now, if he does that, I ain't going to complain, personally. But you don't want to have to rely on him just pulling a 40-20 out of nowhere. The kicking game needs to be effective. It's got to be. You can't let Saints get into a rhythm. You got to isolate players as well. Make sure the kick chase is good. But I think if we are going to lose through the middle, which we have done sometimes, and I've mentioned we're taking a slight dip with the forwards, the play the balls have got to be quick. So if you're not making those extra post-contact meters, if you're not beating players up, you're not getting those hard hits and wearing them down, it's got to be quick play the balls to let Danny Walker, and if he's not starting, Sam Powell needs as many quick play the balls as possible so that Williams can feed off the back of those and Matt Duffy can stay connected to him. They can find some holes on the edges. But it's all about intent. Do we have the intent to play quick through the middle? We need that. I think if it doesn't start that way, we could be in trouble. St Helens, they can't just focus on one aspect. They've got to try and attack Warrington in so many different ways. Warrington have been an excellent defensive team this season, so you can't just try and do one thing. You can't always try and shut the ball around and hope it works. You can't always try and beat them up through the middle. You've got to try and set a platform somewhere and then go for something different. Establish dominance somewhere, go for something different. If you can find a weakness and, you're getting all your luck and all your good stuff through that, then, fair enough. But I think in order to counter what Warrington can do with the ball, they need quick defensive line speed. But they can't afford, say if, depending on the team that they do put out, if they've got any youngsters in that team, they have got to be connected. They have got to move up quickly in unison, because if one just jumps a little bit too far, if one's a bit off the mark, the ball gets shipped out to Toby King, for example. He can eat up the meters. Use that leverage to draw in the winger. It's out to Ashton. He's gone. Or if a player jumps out too quickly, there's a gap for Matt Duffy to exploit. So that defensive line speed from Saints needs to be quick. It's got to be quick and in unison. You can't have any players out of line. And finally, just limit the amount of time that Duffy and Williams have to take on players. If you're going to jam into them, you've got to time it right. Limit their moments on the ball, and you'll limit Warrington's strike force. Can Saints do it? I don't know. And if you look at the results over the course of the season, they played 3 games so far, 2 in the league, 1 in the Challenge Cup. Warrington have won all 3 of those. And in the circumstances, it doesn't look good. One circumstance in the Challenge Cup was just fine in the first half, very competitive for both teams, but then dominated in the second half. The next game, there was a red card, even a sin bin as well. Warrington defensively resilient and still controlled a lot of that game, even when they were a man down. And the third game, just in complete control and didn't concede a single try. They conceded 2 points early on, but didn't concede a single try and just looked in firm control. And Saints didn't really offer too much. But they've got a lot more key players back into this team. I think they'll be real competitive. But based on the record so far from this season, I'm going to go Warrington Wolves 26, St Helens 18. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new Rugby League content. But if you would like to become a member of the Kinetic Rugby League channel and join people like Lloyd Elias, who is currently a member, feel free to click the join button just below this video and become a member today. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.